Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Monday Night live stream here at Joe Daddy's Garage. For those of you that have been here before, you already know the drill. We talk about cars as much as we can. Sometimes we get off, target a little bit. But we're here to talk about cars and what we are doing with those cars, or if we have problems or questions and stuff like that. So if you have a question, by all means, ask it. Preferably, classic cars. Mustangs, Camaros, Mopars, whatever. And I'm hoping that I'm not going to have a problem tonight, although I just did see a hesitation on my laptop. I have contacted Comcast twice this week in an effort to get this remedied. And they say they fixed it. Of course they did. I may end up having to take it a step further and see what happens. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes tonight. Anyway, so if somebody has a question, and somebody can answer that question, they get a bell. We also have various bells for various people that show up. Now, typically we give a bell for Dave, but we've given out a lot of Dave bells. So I know we've given out several different ones. Like I think we've given one for Clark, who I think we've only had one Clark. So we'll give Clark a bell for being the first Clark. And Jessica is here from Jessica's Two Car Garage. I think she had a bell before, but she's going to get another one because she was actually the first one here. So, and she's like slow mode on, so you can't out ramble anyone else. Exactly. She's asking, where's everyone? I think they'll show up. Oh, all right. Cool. Clark. Awesome, man. You get a bonus bell for that. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see who else is here. Okay, so Clark said hello, Jessica. Troy. That's our first Troy sighting. Get a bell for Troy. Good evening from warm and sunny Savannah, Georgia. Yep. It was pretty nice here today, where I'm at, just south of Atlanta. Crash Rider, hello everyone from very pleasant southern Indiana. That's good news. Robert, the Infernal Craftsman, afternoon all. Phil, checking in from California, Northern California. Ish is checking in. Glad you're here. Rick Gain. Hi, Rick. All seems to be well. Wally, that's our first Wally sighting. Although it says 68 Mustang restoration, it's Wally. So we're going to give Wally a bell. Maybe I'll go with unique names tonight. Instead of the common Dave or Rick and stuff like that, we'll go with maybe some unique. So Wally is definitely the unique name. And then we have Caden. So, wait a minute. There you go. I'm sure that'll be the only Caden we have tonight as well. And Steve from Footy's Factory. Hey, you free for a call in? I'd like to show you something. Yeah, we'll get you on. 64.5 Stang. Shane is here to chat. Hello, all. Okay, so there's a Shane. My son's name is Shane. You get a bell for that. Dan Shader checking in from across the ocean. He says, good morning. Evening, Barry from Caden. Dale, does anyone know where I can find new 1967 Mustang Coupe trunk hinges? 67 Mustang Coupe trunk hinges. I don't even know if they reproduce those. I would think they do, but I don't know for sure. So if anybody has a set of 67 Mustang Coupe trunk hinges, let Dale know. Jack, hi Barry. Hat looks awesome. Thanks. Well, I'm glad you like it. And that's my first Jack sighting for tonight. So we're getting, the unique names out of the way. Kate, I'm getting a slight bit of distortion on mine. Yeah, and I'm not confident that this Comcast has done their job. Kuderlev, first Cooter reporting for duty. And Paul, hey Joe, keep up all the great work. Paul at PC Panel and Paint, New Zealand. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. Harvey, first we've got our first Harvey sighting. Yep. Kenyon, 67 Fairlane engine time, but I'm a virgin. How or best way to measure pushrod length on 390 FE roller setup? Okay. And he's also asking any FE fanatics in Ohio. There's actually, Kenyon, I don't know if you're on Facebook or not. There is an FE fanatics page on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen that or if you know about it, but it's called FE fanatics. So I don't have a good way to measure your push rod length, unless if it's out of the car, that's out of the engine. That's one thing. But from my understanding, unless I'm visualizing it wrong, you would measure it from the flat surfaces. So you have the flat surface and the bearing cap that goes around the crankshaft, and then you have the flat surface where the pin that goes through the wrist pin. Gosh, I don't remember how the length is measured on those. If it's center to center from the round part, or it's from, I don't remember. It's been so long. Been so long. So if anybody has a good answer for Kenyon, by all means, let him know. Rick Stevenson checking in. Clark Clifford, no more Red Dave. It's now Red Clark. How many crash riders does it take to get a bell? Well, okay. You get a bell for being crash rider. There you go. Caden, finally got my parts fabbed, even though it's only mower parts. Well, hey, at least it's something. That's a good thing. Okay, Kenyon and Caden says pretty excited. Hey, that's good. Dave, first Dave sighting. Glad you're here. Yeah, I think Caden, that is the first Dave. Troy, replacing the cowl on my 65. Assemblers went crazy with the spot welds. Flange repair is required. Yeah, they put a ton of spot welds in that area, unfortunately. But sometimes you just have to fix those things as you move forward. Jimmy Thomas, hello all. Was in the middle of painting 68 Mustang and lost power. Boy, having day. Hope everybody's day is going better than mine. Ooh, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. Losing power. Ooh, yeah. Harvey, there are adjustable push rods. You put in, adjust, then remove and measure. Okay. So there's an answer. One answer. So it's actually a measuring device, is what you're saying. Dustin Spivey, great progress on Jade. Been making my way through the series, prepping to lizard skin the interior of my 70 Fastback. I'm sure I'm missing 100 steps. Yeah, there's always more to do. Clark says Vice Grip Garage just had a really good video on push rod length. So there you go. Check that out. Dave Conville, I like the Valance stand. Yes, I was going to show that because you can see it. It's here. Earlier, I was considering what I wanted to do as far as painting panels. And, at the body shop, we always had regular paint stands. We had a thing called the bumper thing, which was for like plastic bumpers. We had a hood panel holder and all kinds of stuff like that. I don't have any of that stuff. So I'm improvising. As much as I'd like to have those stands, one, I can't really justify the cost. And two, I don't have a place to store them. So as I'm considering what I want to paint, which in this case, I want to paint the back side of the hood or the underside of the hood, the underside of the deck lid, and then I want to paint the valance panels and the rock guard. Because those pieces, you really don't want them in the way when you're painting. You know what I mean? So like you don't want to, you can't have you can, but you don't want that stuff bolted in and you're trying to spray clear, base and clear, and then you got conflicts. So what I decided to do was build a stand, and I'll show you what I did. I thought this was, I like to recycle things. I like to repurpose things. So let me slide this over as much as you can see right there. Can't see the bottom. Maybe you can. This is actually an old bar stool that I had it in the back shop in a paint booth sitting there for years and years and years. I don't even know why. I just kept it. And I actually had brought it out and threw it on my scrap pile to haul off because I was tired of looking at it. So today I'm looking for a way to hang the valance panels because I don't want them laying flat on a table. When you do that and you spray paint, your pattern is all wrong. It's never going to look right. You want them in roughly the position that they're going to be on the car. So I don't know if I can do that, but anyway, on this little bar stool, this actually pivots. I can swivel this around, and it hangs. I don't want to hit the car. It hangs basically like it was on the car. And then the rear valance, same thing. So what could be improved is maybe the angle on this one a little, so that it was more tapered down. But I think it's fine because I'm more worried about the spray pattern this way. So, you can improvise. And this is just literally this old bar stool. I think a chunk of 2x10 that I screwed to the plate after I removed the seat. A couple of 2x4s screwed to that, and then this vertical 2x4, and then a piece of 1x6. And it was roughly about 66 inches long. I'm happy. I get a bell for this as soon as I put it out of the way. Okay. So I get a bell for making that. Anyway, that's improvise. You don't have to go out and spend $500 on a stand. Make one. Let's see, where are we at? Bad Harry. Hi, all. Coming off a great sunny weekend here in Canada. Yes, for sunburn. Hurts so good. Paul, I'm restoring a 66 Mustang Coupe at the moment for my wife. She also has an 83 Fox Body GT. I hand fab most panels myself, painter by trade, and self-taught panel beater. Cool. That's a good deal. Bad Harry. Yep. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Jessica says, make sure to have head gasket in place when finding rod size. Okay. Probably a good point. I didn't think about that. Caden, I mean, the wood stand is better than what I could have probably come up with. I probably just used baling twine. Well, I mean, in the past, I actually have made racks where I could hang stuff on the rack, but these I didn't want to hang because, you blow pressure on and they're going to want to swing. Then it becomes complicated. Don't really want to do that. Okay. So Kenyon says, thanks to all. Good. Dustin, that's genius. Well, thanks. And there's first Dustin sighting. Get a bell for that. Let's see. Jessica's you're okay. Troy, ding ding, here's your bell. Thank you. Crash Rider, Slick, you deserve 2 bells in my opinion. Thanks. Kudos on a stand, but that is $400 worth of lumber at today's prices. Actually, I bought it a long time ago. This is just scrap that I had laying around. So the perspective there is, they didn't cost me much of nothing. These are just leftover pieces. I have to get my invite sent to Steve. So let me get that sent, and then we'll continue on. Okay. If I could get the money out of it for today's prices, which is just ridiculous, I can tell you this: they're just gouging and gouging and gouging. There is a lumber supply place slightly southwest of Atlanta, Union City, Georgia. It's a huge place. It's a huge place. I've driven by it several times over the last few weeks. It is packed full. There is so much wood in there that they have trouble getting around. There is no shortage. It's just gouging. And, I just, 64, whoever did all the spot welds on a Mustang cows should be slapped for overkill. Well, probably 200 of them. Yeah. Yeah, they add up quick. Ford Engineering for you. Yep. Paul, I agree with you. Reuse and recycle way cheaper than buying expensive panel stands. Yeah. All right. So I see Steve kind of looks like he's wandering around a little bit. I'm not sure where. I'm waiting until he gets oriented. Are you ready, Steve? I can't hear you, but if you're okay. There we have Steve. Oh, okay. You're in the car.
I'm in the car. I'm actually putting my the steering wheel on. So I wanted to show you something. So watching your videos, I know that you show body work galore, and I have this body issue right here.
Right.
And I found out how to fix it. You helped me, but not in the way you think. I was watching Cletus McFarland, and on the back of Cletus's car, I got a whole bunch of stickers.
Okay.
I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And so what I'm gonna do, I've got MSD. Oh, don't look at that one. Don't look at that one. I got there goes that one. Castrol, Heineken. I got a Marlboro on the way just for old time, like sponsorship sake. And I got this one too.
Look at that.
Thanks for fixing my my rear tail.
There you go, man. There you go. Saved you a few bucks.
You did. Actually, it only cost me $10 losing a bet.
Hey.
That's all I wanted to show you, man.
Okay. So how's it? Looks like it's a beautiful day out there.
Yeah, it's probably about it's pushing 70, but it's probably like 68.
Oh wow. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I'm jealous of all the hair. I haven't had, man. I haven't had hair.
It's my last hurrah. It's my last hurrah. Once it's done, I'm just gonna have a regular haircut.
Yeah, I just buzz mine off every week. Just buzz it off. Done with it.
Probably costs you probably saves you a whole bunch of money in supercut fees.
I use a beard trimmer. Do it myself, man. Why do I pay somebody?
This started when coronavirus first started, and I said I can't get a haircut. I said screw it. I'm just gonna grow this down. Now you can do the locks of love thing, right? Yeah, I'm get it all braided, French braids.
Well, no, people cut it off and they give it to people who have cancer.
Yeah. I guess
if it's 12 inches, it has to be 12 inches long, I think.
Mine's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So you're trying to get the steering wheel in. What else is left on the car?
I for the longest time. Now I know that once I'm done telling you this, you're gonna go back to your comments and you're gonna get a whole bunch of guys that are like blasphemy. Let me say this: I don't care what you have to say.
Okay.
Anyway, so for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why the hell this engine was running like crap. Couldn't figure it out. And what I ended up finding out, make a long story short, is that there's wiring between the battery and the inside of it that just needs to be replaced. It's a rat's nest. And I'm getting 12 volts to the ignition, but it's just not feeding the amps. It's just not feeding the so what I did is I hotwired it and it runs great. Now what I should do right now is I should get like a painless or American Auto Wire and just rip it all out, but I can't because I need to ship this thing and it needs to be shipped. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making relays for switches, fuel pump, and radio and whatnot. I'm just completely bypassing the car's electronics.
Okay.
And I'm doing that just for a Band-Aid because when I get it to Scotland, I'm going to be doing painless, just rip it all out,
Yeah. Well,
so
do what you got to do.
Yeah, and as soon as I put this MSD on, it's like it shoots freaking flames out the exhaust. Serious, dude. Couldn't believe it. But the only problem is I got to switch, right? I got to switch. So when you turn off the car, you can't turn the key. You have to kill the switch.
Yep.
So,
I used to have a truck hot wired like that.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, whatever it takes.
Sometimes you gotta, and I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna leave that little system in, and I'm gonna use it as an emergency ignition if things fail. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
And then I got a horn. I just installed the horn because this thing needs to have a horn. This thing's so loud it doesn't need a horn, but legally because they need to do on-road inspection, I got the horn wired up, and then I got a button on the way.
yeah.
That's already been wired up. So with the I already got a I already basically got it all wired up. So.
Hey, here's a thought for you from Wally, 68 Mustang Restoration. He says Ford had a resistive wire on the coil side. Your MSD needs 12 volts.
So I am getting 12 volts based off of when
you bypass it.
No. I get 12 volts from that wire.
Okay.
I got my buddy came over and we had a big old spiel, and he ended up bringing his freaking ohm meter, whatever it is, and he's like, oh, you're getting 12 volts. And I'm to a point now where, listen, there's a problem lurking in the dang car, and I don't have the means or the time to fix it, so I'm just completely bypassing it, you know?
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
No. Any more comments?
Nothing.
Guiding me through life. Well, before I'm off, I'm over here commenting. Shut up! I hate you.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
It's good. You got a cup of Joe. This is my last little bit of it.
Yep. Finish it off.
All right, dude. Well, I'm gonna finish this thing off, and I'm gonna actually just probably watch the rest of the show and work on my car.
Sounds good.
All right, dude.
All right.
Thanks for your help. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right. So it's nice to hear from Steve. And I know he's fighting with that, but he'll figure it out. Get it shipped over to Scotland. Let's see. Ben. Hi, Team Barry. Glad you're here. Rick. I learned to cut my hair due to the pandemic. Yeah. Well, when my boys were little, well, actually all the way up into their teen years, I just started buzzing their hair off. I gave them military haircuts. You pay somebody $10-15 to cut your hair. I'm like, come here. You'll be fine. And they were, and they actually got used to it. They liked it for a period of time. Then as they got, teenage years, they didn't want it so much. So, but when they were little, buzz. Cooter, I try to reuse any parts that I replace on my 66 in and around my shop. For example, my original cracked steering wheel now holds my shop back hose. Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. I've got I think 5 steering wheels back there on the wall for no particular reason. I can only identify one of them, I think. It's off of a Fiero GT my wife had. Canyon, my 63 F100 has a C4 trans that leaks when I store it every year or park it for long periods. Help anyone, please. I've been robbed twice trying to fix it at local idiot shops. Man. The difficulty, if it's you store it, how long does it sit before it gets run again? The fluid is just going to accumulate. It's going to soak down into the pan. Whenever these things are running, some of it will stay in the torque converter and stuff like that, but eventually it'll leak down into the pan and can leak into the seals. There's probably no easy fix. I mean, they shouldn't do it, period. We all know that. It shouldn't do it. It would help if we knew maybe where it was leaking from, because sometimes it can leak from just a shaft, that goes through into the side of the case. It can be leaking from just that simple shaft. Probably no easy answer other than can't let it sit so long. But maybe somebody else has some input. If you do, by all means, let Kenyon know. Jimmy, anybody know what the recoat window is for Omni Plus base coat, lost power, and can't spray clear coat? I've been told 24 hours. From my PPG rep. So that's basically what I've been spraying, and that's what he told me. It's 24 hours. Because I know I had an issue a long time ago where I sprayed something and the paint did some bad things, and I had to like redo a bunch of stuff. Um, and he basically said, you got to get this all done in 24 hours or just sand it off and start over. It's kind of what I was told. 64. The old timers used to put a small amount of brake fluid in the trans. It swells the seals. I don't know if I want to give a bell for that. I've never tried that, but maybe that would help. I can't say for sure. Can you, whenever a car or truck sits, the converter in the trans empties into the pan, making for leaks? It's normal. Refill it, and go about your life. Well, yeah, but I understand what he's saying. He doesn't want to have it leaking. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be just, it needs to be run. In my case, Robert, when the ignition switch is in run, it goes through the resistor. During starting, the starter relay sends a full 12 volts to the coil, and that's referring to Steve. Clark, buzz, stop squirming. Daddy needs new spark wires. Yeah. I mean, it was, and when they did have a full head of hair, they would complain, "Oh, it's so hot, it's so hot." And let me fix that for you. All gone. And so I remember even as teenagers, I think my youngest son was like 17, 18. He's like, just buzz it. Summer would come around, just buzz it, Dad. Take it all off. They appreciated it in the summer for sure. Let's see. Wally, infernal is correct. 12 volt on startup, but drops to 9 while running. See, there we go. Good information. Bad Harry. Barry, thanks for checking out the clearance to install the PCM for the Cody engine into my 6.7. It fits great and looks great. I sent some pictures showing inside and out. Cool. We'll have to download that in just a second. And Paul, 24 hours sounds right. Been using PPG for almost 30 years in the trade. Yep. Yeah, that's what they told me. 24 hours. Let me see if I can get some. Okay, so Harry has sent me some pictures. Let me download these real quick. And these are in relation to his fastback build. And we had a conversation about where the module needs to go, or where it can go, or where he wanted it to go in his. And come on. This thing is fighting me again. I don't understand it. It's not coming. You're located at the top of the firewall inside the car. So we did some measuring and we're able to come back to Wi-Fi. I don't know if I'm telling you, this thing is irritating. I hate it. Okay, I'm gonna have to give it a few seconds, see what happens. Sorry, everybody. I don't know why it keeps doing this, and I've like I said, I contacted Comcast twice this week. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's not working. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make this happen or not. I don't know if you can hear me or not. It's not working. It's not working. Well, let's see. Have audio, but the video basically frozen. Okay. I don't know if I can do something different, like get it on my phone. Um, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So if you have audio, maybe I can just continue because it's got a little Wi-Fi symbol up in the middle of my screen. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Comcast is going to be getting a bunch of junk handed back to them. Okay, so I'm going to try to I'm going to keep talking here because I don't know what's going on. Infernal Craftsman not allowed to cut hair any shorter than it is by having an accident in the shop with a pair of scissors one day. I'd say Roger Comcast strikes again. Yeah. Auto tune is on. Great. 3x3 broken and garbled. Yeah. Just a picture. The push rod measuring tool. Got it. Maybe. I sound like R2D2. Great. That's a great sound effect I wanted. Marshall, howdy from Georgia. The nice weather let me get the lizard skin all done. Think we're going to like it quite at the roof for sure. We'll be starting wiring soon. Wish me luck. I don't know if there's a way that I can swap this over. Oh, wait. Is it back now? Now it looks like it's back. Let me find out. I'm going to try this. I don't know if there's a way that I can. Okay. So we temporarily have everything working by the sounds of it, by the looks of it. So I'm trying to get back to Harry's pictures that we were talking about with the 68 fastback that he's building, 68 or 67. I'm not sure anymore. It's a fastback, the one he's converting. So the PC module that is required for his Coyote engine, he wanted to get it mounted at the back or at the back of the engine, there's a plug-in setup, and so you're really kind of limited without extending that or unwiring it and relocating it somewhere. So we had talked about putting it inside the car. So this is looking inside the car. That's the trans tunnel. It should be down at the bottom there. Oh no, I'm sorry. Looking from the out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not sure which way I'm looking right now. It's one of those optical illusions. Okay, yeah, that's looking inside the car. There's the heater hose for the heater core, the 2 holes. And so there it is, tucked into or sticking through the firewall, and that's the flange for the cowl. So he cut that out of the way so he could put that module partially out of the firewall. See if this, and there it is looking from above. That's a good shot right there. So you can see the top of the engine. You can see the cowl and the recess he made. That looks really nice. There's another top shot. I like that. That's sunk in there really nice. And again, looking at it from the inside. Yeah, that looks, I like that. That's going to look really sharp when it's all put together. Okay. Now it says Wi-Fi again. Oh, man. So Kenyon saying his floor leaks so bad it looks like the first 48 scene 1. It leaks several times a year. Yeah. Rick, Comcast likes to blame things on a bad splitter. They suck. Well, we're getting to that point. T-Mobile works good, $50 a month, cell tower. Yeah. Well, I have had good luck with Comcast up until the last few weeks. Yeah, Jessica says drip pan or drive it more. Roger, Canyon see my Z28 does it too. I've heard it called the Power Glide Purge from a 700 R4. Just had something fly right in front of me. Troy, I second Rick Gaines' comment. Yeah. All right, so let's go down here a little further. Clark Kenyon, my 97 F-150 with E4 OD does it when I don't drive it. Yep. Rick, disable Wi-Fi on your laptop so it defaults to your Ethernet connection. Well, I can try that. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. No, let me see here. I don't know if that's working or not. No, I don't know if I'm getting any feedback. Okay. Nick says you're not 8-bit anymore. I don't know about that. He thought he was playing Super Mario Bros. For a minute. Well, Jessica, it's not about the downloading. It trips itself to Wi-Fi. It just trips itself over to Wi-Fi. I don't get it. Thing is, it's like not even picking up my the Wi-Fi in my house. It's not even picking up the Wi-Fi in my house. It's trying to connect to my printer. I wonder. Bear with me. I'm wondering right now if I can go to my phone and make it a mobile hotspot. I don't know how to do that. Anybody give me some input on that real quick? All right. I don't know if this will work or not. If it works, fine. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm trying my mobile hotspot. Sorry for this. I don't know. Understand what's going on. Trying to type in this long code. Okay. All right. So now we should be connected to my mobile phone. Is it working? Let me know if it's working. Oh my gosh. What a struggle. Okay, so Kenny is saying he appreciates the help from 64 Clark and Jessica. Footage, Barry the guy with the Coyote, please tell him to send me a pic on how he did the master cylinder. I'll donate if he does. Well, let's see there. I can we can talk to Harry and see if you can maybe exchange some emails. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. Bad Harry saying, Footage Factor, I will be installing Hydro Boost, not installed yet. All right, Willie checking in from Moore, Oklahoma. Glad you're here. Rick, typically the FN key plus one of the functions disables depending on the laptop should be a blue antenna picture. Okay. The fastest thing in Comcast is making speed your check is cached. Yeah. Alpha understands Wi-Fi you can enable. Yes, thank you, Rick. Setting connections. Got it. All right. Paul, the joy of technology. Yes. Please tell me it's working correctly. Be careful with the hotspot. You might have unlimited data, but I doubt you do on hotspot. Well, I'm trying to keep this going. I get it. I mean, I don't know what else to do. Works. You're working now. Cool. Yes, good. All right, Art. Along with computer problems, I take all the screws out and look for broken parts. Then I call a tech line and they ask about my boots. Paul, it's clear now. Okay. Whew. Man. Now I don't know again how much that's going to eat up whatever. I don't know. At this point, I've never used mobile hotspot before, so I don't know. Let me see what Harvey sent me. See if I can get this up here. This should be the pushrod measuring tool. And now it's tripping the Wi-Fi again. Oh man, what in the world? Why is it doing this? Maybe I just can't download anything. What is going on? Yeah. Yeah, it's clear image froze. Okay. Today might be 1 hour. Might be 1 hour. You're right. It's my mistake. I hit the pause button. Footage Factor, what kind of computer do you have? I'm on HP. HP laptop. Basic stuff. Can't use someone in the house on the hub. Yeah, well, I'm paying for, gosh, whatever the number is with Comcast, because I've upped the speed several times. We did a speed test when I was on chat with him the other day, and I was at 236 megabytes download speed, but I don't know what the upload speed was. Jessica, if you plug your phone into your laptop, you can tether it. The laptop will see it as a Ethernet, and your phone will not use up its hotspot time for later for you to look into. Okay. Well, if I had my, I couldn't even plug it in right now because I have I probably could. I have a bundle connected to my port, my HDMI, for the camera and the microphone joined together. So, Dale, it's definitely a Comcast problem, something to do with downloading. Well, it's something to do, yeah, it could be a variety of things, but I'm going to probably have to smash that router and say, your router's broken. Time to upgrade from your Commodore 64. Yeah. Papa Joe's Garage. Jade looks good when your feed is clear. Yeah. Yeah. Rick, you need a special cable to tether the iPhone to Ethernet. Okay. Paul, what's your email address? I will send you pics of my work. My email is right there at the bottom of the screen. joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. And I'm probably not even going to try to download anything anymore to put on here. I'm just going to try to keep what I have going right now. Hopefully it's working. I can't tell, but hopefully it is. So, yeah, by all means, if you want to send me an email of stuff you're working on, that's fine. I'm going to have a conversation with Comcast soon. Kenyon, unplug the PS5. Well, we do have a PS5 plugged in. The thing is that in the past, I've been able to do my live stream out here. I've had my wife and kids in there streaming movies. Nothing. It hasn't hurt anything. And then in the past couple of weeks, something has gone bad. Something has gone bad with the system. So Clark, you put a ball of aluminum foil on a rabbit ears, it helps. Yeah, well, I think it's 2 balls. You have to put a ball of foil on each end, right? Nick, if you're on Wi-Fi, it helps tremendously to make the channel static instead of dynamic. And I was searching for the best channel, like pick a channel and see which one gives the strongest signal. Yeah, what's weird about it is it was connecting its Wi-Fi to our printer. That makes no sense. That's the only thing in the system that it would identify was our printer. Let Comcast know that it has a role if this issue isn't fixed. Yeah, it's been very frustrating. I was actually on chat with them twice this week. They gave me a $10 credit. $10 credit. And then they're sending me a Comcast Flex something, which is like a Roku stick, apparently they're gonna give us free something out of that. Well, that's all well and good, but I need this to work. This is what I'm spending money on. This right now is what I need to work. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. So your Ethernet to your computer. Yeah. I have an Ethernet cable. I ran Ethernet from the house all the way through the attic. I ran 2 lines actually, all the way through the attic, outside, down, underground, in conduit, underground conduit. It's coming in the wall, plugged in, and it works. In fact, I did the live stream in the back a few weeks ago, and I made another like 60-foot Ethernet cable that I attached to a whatever the box is, a little splitter box. Plugged everything in, worked, did what it was needed to do. So I don't get it. Do I have more than one router? No, one router. That's all I have. That's what I don't get. I don't understand it. I know there was something wrong in the past, and I got an allowance or whatever for me to take that old router or the previous router and exchange it. And I plugged, that has worked fine, but now it's not doing what it needs to do. Kenyon, $10. Hey, that's a Happy Meal and a nickel bag of greenery. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So let me see if I can pull this off. Let's see. Steve, router might be an issue, especially since it keeps bouncing back and forth Wi-Fi wired. Yeah. Yeah. Troy, is that Ironman over your left shoulder? Probably. Okay, so while we still have, now I have to sit here and wait for my phone if it's going to keep operating too. Something else I wanted to bring up with Jade. You saw in the last video, I think I showed it, but anyway, I had some issues and I addressed them, some little pinholes and stuff. And before I made this stand today, my mind was saying, again, I wanted to paint the underside of the hood, the underside of the deck lid, the 2 valance panels, and the little inserts, for the go right here for the parking lights. Want to paint all that stuff because the you can't. I mean, you probably could if you really, really, really wanted to struggle. But the underside of the hood and deck lid, pretty much impossible to paint on the car and get it right, So I want to get the underside done. So today I was going to start prepping for that. I thought, okay, I'll get everything scuffed up and ready and try to get it sprayed. And I wanted to get some color on and clear coat. The underside of the hood and deck lid, I'm going to spray and clear coat and everything. And just like this right here, I'm going to spray and clear. Well, yeah, I'll probably do all these at the same time. Make sure it's all done. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to do this stuff, and I look at the hood, and I forgot that I had not sprayed the backside of the hood with primer. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. I wanted to, have it set up and ready to go. So instead of getting ready for paint, I had to set it up and get it back in primer. And so, just a matter of scuffing, cleaning, and spraying. So while I did that, I also addressed the little pinhole that was in the passenger side quarter panel extension. I don't know where that pinhole came from. Doesn't make any sense because there's no filler there. And so I addressed that, shot a little primer on it, and I also addressed the backside of the hood inserts because it's hard to spray one side or the other. You can't do the whole thing at one time very easily. So I ended up prepping those and spraying the backside. So everything is definitely in primer at this point. So with that, there's a big bug flying around. I'm probably either tomorrow or Wednesday. I hope to actually have color on the backside of the hood and the deck lid. Now, I still have my final sanding to do on the rest of the car. You know, I decided I'm going to wet sand it. You know, I talked about it on Patreon, and I'm just going to wet sand it. I want it smooth. I want to make sure there's no flaws anywhere. So I'm going to wet sand the car, wet sand the doors, everything, and make sure they're good to go. And I know I'll be happier with the end results, because there are a few places where I did get some sags because I knew that was going to happen. I was spraying it too heavy. So I'll have to address that. Phil, starting a router GoFundMe. Anyone able to help? Yeah. Thanks, Phil. Ish, are you using the highest category cable available for Ethernet? I don't know. I don't know how you tell the difference. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the numbers on this Ethernet. I could probably look at it. I don't know what it says. I can't read it. Oh, Troy. Sweet. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Ish, I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know if I can get this without it. I don't want to mess things up. I don't remember what the numbers are. Well, I can't. Not that I would remember anyway. This was a bundle that I bought off of Amazon. You know, I don't know what. I can't read it. It's twisted up, so I can't get to it. So anyway, oh, there we went. We're twitching. Jessica, look into having the router separate from the modem. Cable companies, one suck, modem to router. Well, what I have is, I guess it's all in one unit. You know, whatever Comcast sends me. I don't know. I'm no electrical guru on this stuff. Nick, serious, clear your Wi-Fi clear your Wi-Fi info off your computer. I bet you it fixes it. You could turn the Wi-Fi antenna off, but forget networks to be easily seen on your Wi-Fi GUI. Okay. Clear your Wi-Fi info off your computer, but you fixed it. You could turn the Wi-Fi antenna off, but forget networks to be easily seen on your Wi-Fi. I don't know what yeah. At the moment, that's I'm okay with where it's at right now. At the moment. Ben, new router fund. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure, Jessica. Nick, where you go to your Wi-Fi info on to connect should be option to forget or delete the info. I have it right now. The Wi-Fi is turned off. I have it turned off. Period. I don't know if I want to. I'm not going to mess with it right now. I don't want to mess with it anymore. It's working probably off of my phone. You can leave it alone for the moment. You have a router modem combo from Xfinity. RR, the modem router. It's a lengthy convo with Comcast, but it needs to be done. RR, the modem router. Okay, you're speaking a foreign language with me, Steve. What does that mean? RR, the modem router? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I fix cars, man. I fix cars. That's what I do. This stuff is foreign to me. Oh, remove, replace. Well, there you go. Well, see? Remove. Okay, so you're saying remove, replace the combo. and get a regular. Okay, so you're saying replace the whole thing, right? Which is what I did before. I've actually done that once. I've done that once. So I'm going to have to see, it's doing it again. I'm going to have to do something. Don Thompson checking in. That's our Betsy sighting. Yeah, I get it. Remove, replace. I got it. I was confused. R and R. I like that one better. Yeah, R and R. Rest and relax. Right. I like that better. I prefer that. Okay. So I will talk to Comcast and see if we can get something happening, because this is highly frustrating. I try to keep things running smooth, but sometimes. Dawn says check the channel frequency used. Don't know how to do that. Dave, hey Barry, this tank is looking great. Yeah, thank you, Dave. I know we've been talking about Comcast and how bad they're screwing things up for me right now, but thank you. Appreciate that. And I'm really, I've said I'm going to try to get color on very soon. I do want to get the bottom of the deck lid, the bottom of the hood, and the valance panels, and those pieces, get them in color. I don't know if I want to share those yet, though, because that color is going to be fantastic. So I'm debating on whether I'll share those pictures or what I'll do just yet. I know when I painted Mystique, I shared some pictures that were actually black and white because I didn't tell anybody what the color was going to be, and so I shared black and white pictures, and I said, "How does it look?" But I may do the same thing. I don't know. We'll find out. Ish. Oh, router money. Thank you, man. Yeah, I don't know if I have to just. I mean, do I need to just go buy a router? I don't know. I'm dumb to this. I really am. I never really learned much of that. I mean, I made the Ethernet cable and I routed it and blah blah blah. But I'm really kind of dumb to the whole process. So I don't know if it would be better to have my own router. I don't know. I'm really unfamiliar with it. Dawn should be a user GUI that allows you to test the channel usage and interference. Okay. I don't even know what GUI means. I don't know what that means. GUI. I don't know what that means. Dave, I'm in paint stage as well. Cool. That's a good deal. Troy, what was your decision on the chrome for Jade? Well, I'm going to keep everything as it was, except for I did away with the chrome, the trim on the rocker panels. I'm making it smooth and doing away with those. Everything else except for the grill. The grill is going to be custom. I did buy a mesh grill that I found out is only meant for Shelby's. So I'm going to make my own grill and make it fit the car, and that'll come later. But at this point, that's where I'm at with that. But everything else will have standard chrome on it. I do have all new bumpers, taillight trim, door handles, emblems. I have the original trim chrome that went around the windows, and I have a really nice piece on a hood that I have for the front of the hood. I think I have everything I need. I think. If not, I'll get it. Steve, I wish I had a bunch of people live stream to help me work on my engine back when it wasn't cooperating. All the live viewers barking orders at me. Yeah. Ish, it would behoove you to buy your own. Well, I don't understand the process enough to know. I'm willing to buy a router if that's what it takes, but I'm not overly familiar with all of these terms. Rick, I've been using I've been doing information technology for 30 years. We can talk through it. GUI is graphic user interface. Okay. That's what Don says. Graphic user interface. I'll have to take your word for it. Again, that's foreign language to me. That's a foreign language. Bad Harry, the only way to know how to fix a router is with a 10-pound hammer. One hit, and I know it will not glitch anymore. Yeah, that's pretty close to that right now. Troy, I'm eliminating the chrome strips on my rockers also. Yes. Kenyon, can I drive it when all is done? Well, doubtful. Doubtful. I don't know who. I don't know. If anybody but me is going to drive it. I said my wife it's meant for my wife, but I think she would struggle to get in it and reach the pedals and actually be able to drive it the way it should be. But we'll see. Robert, I hope you pick out a router when you get ready. Oh, well, okay. I'm going to need help because I don't know anything about this stuff. Nick, yeah. So car stuff. How about those quarter panels? Yeah, how about those quarter panels? They are looking really, really good. Let's see. 64. I can't recall. Is Jade's hood factory original? I don't know. I mean, the hood that I'm putting on it is aftermarket. When I got one with the inserts, with the turn signals, because I think it's cool looking. But I don't know if it came with that hood, because when I got the car, if you go back to the first video, when I walk around the car and I show it, which I don't like that video because I actually shot it on my iPhone. It was the first time I've ever tried using a camera phone, and it wasn't very good. But anyway, the hood that was on the car was painted bright orange with a big silver stripe down the middle. Had a great big hood scoop on it, and that's the only hood I knew of. So I don't know how it was configured originally, but I'm going to add the insert hood, as I mentioned. So I have all that stuff to go into that. I also have now that I think about it, I've got a bright orange deck lid too. I've got a bright orange hood and a bright orange deck lid. I've got, the other 68 sitting in the garage now. It needs a deck lid and it needs a hood. Maybe I'll just paint that thing bright orange. Ish. I agree with that. Harry Hammer works. Yes. Yeah. Kenyon says, okay. Well, I could take you for a ride in it, maybe, Nick, wait. Did you move the seat back so your wife can't drive it? It's sneaky. I like it. Honey, I swear they're all like that. No, my wife is 5'1". So her little legs, we've had to get vehicles where they have the pedals, that move to help her. And I'm not putting movable pedals in my car, her car. Third Garage. IT stuff is foreign to me too. Now you know how we feel when experienced car people don't explain things clearly. For those of us learning, glad you explain things clearly. Yeah, and that's always been a goal of mine. I try to explain everything I can as best I can. It's funny. Speaking of which, I did that video on that Hawkman jump box, that little jump box thing. I did that video, and somebody commented on that. And their comment was kind of rude in a way, but it was like, why do people make these videos and they don't read all the instructions and then they look like an idiot or something, because when I did the video, I did it mostly as if the normal car guy or person, girl, whatever, would have pulled the thing out of the box and said, oh, okay, it looks like this plugs in here, looks like this goes here, plug it into the wall, let it charge up, kind of browse through the instructions, see what happens. because that's what all of us do. I would venture that most of us don't sit there and read every single line in the instructions. We go, oh, it's a simple thing. It's only got a couple connections. Can't be that hard. So that's basically, that's how I normally do things. So when I did that, I didn't want to sit there and read all those instructions. Who does? But I ended up plugging in the, trying to jumpstart Frankentruck, and it gave me a code or something, and I was like, oh, well, now what do I do? Well, I went and got the instructions, read through the instructions, and the guy thought that was like dumb. But the truth is, I would rather see somebody do it like that and make a mistake so that I don't have to do it, and I can learn from that. That's the whole point. If everything went smooth and you didn't have any problems, like finding pinholes in the primer. If everything went smooth and you didn't find a problem, well then, it's like watching a TV show. I don't do TV shows. I try to show you whatever I can find and make it seem as real. Let's see. If it doesn't work, hit it with a hammer. Still won't work, get a bigger hammer. Yes. Just keep hitting it. Roger, you should see them in person. Just saying. Oh, you talking about the quarter panels? Yeah. Even I'm impressed. I love the way they look. I have to admit. I mean, every time I walk by it now, I just kind of want to caress it a little bit. Oh, yeah. That feels nice and smooth. I like it. Roger Martin. I'm welding some patches on my 71 Bronco on Amazon using your code. Cool. Does it matter what type of steel should I order? Mild steel, soft tempered, etc. This is all new to me. It would be just mild steel. You don't want something that's soft tempered. It just mild steel, would work fine. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and fix that. All right. Nick, I'm not going to lie. I thought about orange for mine for a solid minute. Well, I should probably post some picture. If you looked at that first video, you'll see the color on that. Robert, being tall is not all it's cracked up to be. Yeah, that's true. You're not short. I know that. Nick, buy her some blocks for her feet like in Indiana Jones. Yeah. What was that? What was that kid's name? What was that kid's name? Something Shot? What was that? I forget what his name was. Now that you mention that. Mason, how are you? How come Jay's behind you in the main part of the shop? I thought you had it in the paint booth. I did. But I had to also prime all the other pieces. The fenders, the hood, the other various panels and pieces. So can't fit it all in there. Do what I can. Got his grandpa's convertible alignment done today, and now it goes down the road a lot better with the new BF Goodrich tires on it. That's good. Always good. Robert, I'm impressed with how well that battery jump starter works. Yeah, I was shocked by that thing, so to speak. Shocked. I was very surprised at how well it did. Gonna take his grandpa's car to some car shows. Yeah, that'll be nice. Let's see. Hurst Scrambler, what is your procedure for when you're going to paint your car in the shop, hang plastic, etc.? No, I actually have a paint booth built onto my shop. So if you looked at my videos and you search for paint booth or paint booth makeover, there's a video of my paint booth. Now, the main shop, the footprint for my shop, the concrete is 24 by 50. The shop itself is 24 wide. The main shop is 36 feet deep. The remainder of that, behind that, is the paint booth. And that is 14, roughly, by 24. And that area is isolated as much as I can. That's what I use the paint booth. So, you can look up paint booth makeover, I think, or something like that, if you want to see it. Crusher, you're not fooling me. I'm not convinced you didn't know she might not be able to drive because of her height. Short round. That was his name. Dave gets a bell. Yep, Ish. You're a little late. You have to share the bell with Dave. He got it first. Any tales of Red Dave? No, not yet. I was looking at it earlier today because I was curious about the trim, some of the trim. So this is the tentatively called Red Dave 68. And I was referencing several things on it, primarily the trim around the back window. I wanted to verify how much of the trim is showing versus how much of the roof. And what I mean by that is where the roof comes back and drops in. And it's actually about a 1/4 inch of painted area where the trim sits below it. So I wanted to verify that, which is, what I did. And also the front trim on that car fits terrible. And I always say test fit, test fit, test fit. Well, I have to admit, one thing I really haven't test fitted is the trim on a windshield for this car. I may go back and look at that first video that I did again. It may show some of that because I really didn't think about it much. My mind is telling me that it fits fine, but I probably, in fact, I think I have all the trim up here in the rafters. I may pull it all down and just kind of hold it in place and make sure that it's going to fit into the opening like it should. Nick, do you wet the ground in there? I have done that. I have. The problem is I can't. It's hard to keep it wet back there because of the airflow. So I have two fans blowing out, and recently I've added 2 holes in the main shop wall that I put in 20-inch air filters in an effort to get the air from, because normally I have the door open in the back, like the entry door. And then when the air goes in, what it does, it goes in and it cuts across like the nose of the car if you have it pulled in. So I wanted to get some airflow from going the other direction. So that's why I cut a hole in the wall and I added these like 20-inch air filters. But I've tried to wet the ground or try to, but it doesn't stay. And because it just, and of course it's pulling air out of the main shop. So I have to be careful with that as well. I know since I've sealed up the roll-up door a little better, the airflow may be a little restricted now. So I might have to consider having the main door open and maybe even put some screens in it so that it can pull through that as a filter as well. I haven't decided on that just yet. 64 had any paint booth issues, dust, bugs, etc. Yeah, there's not bad, because every time I spray in there, I blow out the whole thing. I'll take an air hose. I have a long wand on my air hose, a long tube, and I'll blow the ceiling out and I'll go over it probably 4 or 5 times and try to blow everything out of there. And then I've taken a broom or a brush and just brushed everything off the walls. And I just try to get everything out that I can. Now, I think I've only had a couple of bugs actually get into a paint job. And really, it got into the clear coat. It wasn't even the paint. And I have a little pick that it's like a little barb. I mean, it's a tiny little thing that you can like stick it into whatever bug and drag it out. Or you end up sitting there and kind of hope that it works its way to the top as much as it can, and you sand it out later. But that's the only real issue I've had, is just a few bugs. Mason, your shop is a 2-stall garage, ain't it? Or is it 1-stall garage with 1 big door? Well, it can be 2. You can get 2 cars in here side by side. I don't typically do that. Um, I've actually had 4 cars in here before when I don't have all my junk, or I don't have a bunch of parts from cars that aren't just taking up my space right now. I can put one on the lift. Actually, I think I've had 5 in here. Now that I think about it, because I had the lift up, and I put a car under the lift, and then I was able to put like the dune buggy beside the lift, and then 2 more right here. So I can get them in, but it's not fun. You're not going to do much. Not much at all. Footage pulled the bug out. Animal cruelty. Yeah, well, he's probably dead anyway. Let's see. Papa Joe's Garage. Red Dave and your router should share a name. Fred. Yeah. Roger says, "Yep, you've had 5." Yeah, I remember. I know I've had 5 in here. Papa Joe's funky red everyday driver. Mason, you still have it? Your dune buggy? What's your dune buggy based off of Volkswagen? Yeah, it's a Volkswagen. It's still here. It's actually in Roger's garage right now, next door. Thankfully, Roger's allowed me to put it over there while I'm fighting with things over here. Yeah, in fact, if you go, Mason, look, there's videos on the dune buggy on this channel. I've listed it as speed buggy or dune buggy, so you can check that out. Let's see. Papa Joe's freaking ridiculous electronic device. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Don, screen door with filters. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. In fact, I have an old screen door sitting out behind my little barn that could very easily be attached to that entry door, and at least short term. I don't want to have it on there all the time. You got me thinking. I want to show you, since we talked about the little barb thing, let me go get it so you can see what I'm talking about. Talk amongst yourselves. This thing, this is it's a little tiny sword, like, what is it? Fencing? The little, whatever, what are their swords called? I think it starts with an E. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's very tiny. In fact, you probably can't see the barbs on it. Yeah, really hard to see that. But anyway, so this is that little bug remover. And I think whenever I got this, it came in a package, like just this. And I was like, well, how do you store this? I'm always losing stuff. So what I did is I took a piece of brake line, standard little tiny, brake line for your wheel cylinder, in the back of your car, any brake line, whatever size that is, I don't even know. And I took it and I took a chunk of it about that long. I crushed one end flat and I bent it at an angle, and then I put a screw through that bent piece. So now this sits on my door jamb in the paint booth. So if I were to reference, like, it sits like that, and then this sits inside of it. So it's always at the ready whenever you, the foil, epi. Yes, I get the E. Epi, foil. Yeah, that makes sense. Rapier? I don't think it's a rapier. I think it's foil. So this is a little tiny Iron Man foil. So I can't lose this now. I got to make sure I put that back. But it has helped several times. Roger, speed buggy is safe and dry. Seems happy enough. Yeah. And I'm just hoping it starts again someday. And speed buggy keeps chaos, the 84 Z28 company. Yeah. They make a good team. 64 it's Iron Man toothpick. Yeah. Man. There's a big bug flying around. Yeah. Epi foil. Yeah. Clark Clifford, not rapier, saber. Yeah, I think saber is a little overkill. Pokey stick. Yeah, there you go. That's a good name for it. Steve, an angel gets its wings when a tool finds a home. Brake line genius. Hey, it works, man. Just a little brake line, a little tube. Save it. Mount it. Keep it. It's kind of like having I don't have a holder to hold my paint gun. I should, but I don't. But that's always convenient. You have something to hang it on or in. I just haven't come up with one. So, Aaron Garcia, I have a question about Mustangs. Well, what is it? By all means, ask away. We'll see if we can answer that. Don Thompson, hello everyone. So you were here earlier, weren't you, Don, or did you step away? Or are you just saying hello to those who are new to the episode? Per Scrambler, after your final coat of paint, how long do you wait to clear coat it? I don't know that there's you let it flash. I know you have a 24-hour window from what I've been told to get clear coat on it. Usually you don't want to wait. I mean, you could probably 15, 20 minutes is probably reasonable. But it depends on your paint product too. So you might want to reference, like I have all my data sheets that I keep from my paint products. And so that's what I always reference. If it tells me, this is your window and whatever, I try to stay by those guidelines, and also your tip size and all that sort of thing. But usually it's like you let it flash off and then should be good to go. Usually. Aaron, what do you think about the LS swap? Well, I don't really think about it. I can tell you that most people are not going to go for that. Most people. I'm not saying that I would never thought about that. I'm not saying that I never thought about putting an LS in a car. But if you do, you don't open your hood. I know that much. Especially if you go to a cruise in or car show, you'll get a lot of people upset with you. But I mean, LS swap, you're talking about Mustangs, but let's look at it this way. If you compare, apples to apples and oranges to oranges, or apples to oranges, whatever, Chevy has their engine, Ford has their engine, GM or Dodge has, whatever their engines, whatever. If you look at more modern stuff like the Coyote or any of these modern style of engines, it's really not, to me, it's not much different between them anymore. I mean, they've got LS engines and Coyote and the Hemi Cudas and whatever, making all kinds of horsepower and stuff like that. But most people wouldn't know the difference. Honestly, if you did that, popped one in, and you stuck a Ford logo on a valve cover, you had you can have a fake valve cover made for it. If you stuck a Ford thing on there, most people would just go, "Oh, that's cool. What is it?" Because they don't, a lot of car people will know, but a lot of people just walking by, they're not going to know the difference, especially with a modern style of engine. Honestly, the LS is a great engine. I'm not going to argue that at all. It's a great engine, but you're going to end up with people that aren't going to go that route. They're going to do a Ford version of it or whatever. So, Rick, when did base coat clear start being used as opposed to single stage? That would probably be early mid 80s is probably when they went to the base clear. Aaron, yep. Robert, nothing wrong with the LS swap, but the Explorer 302 swap is far cheaper and fits perfectly. That's true. You don't have to modify anything putting in that 302. Aaron, I have a 1957 F100 with an LS swap, and I'm sure it runs great. I mean, there's a lot of people doing odd things. In fact, I'll bring this up because I'm a Studebaker fan. I'm on a couple of Studebaker pages on Facebook, and somebody took a 53 Studebaker truck, and they were showing it. I said, "Here's my E vehicle." Well, he had taken that 53 truck, pulled the bed off, lopped off the leaf springs off the back, pulled the rear end out of it, and he had bought a drive unit out of a Tesla. And he's putting the Tesla drive unit in the back of that 53 Studebaker. I'm not offended. I'm really not. I mean, yeah, it's some people say, oh, these had these, whatever engine and transmission and stuff. If he can make it work, I'm not upset about it. I'm not. I think it's kind of cool, actually. I wish I could come up with a Tesla. I'd probably put one in, set up in a 65 or something, just because. Just something different. Caden, is it weird to want LS or Cummins swap a Prius? No, not at all. Do it. Do it. Do it. I could take, in fact, you could take let's say you bought all the sheet metal and you just put together an old Mustang, right? Put in the E motor from a Tesla, have a brand new car that's, based on a Tesla design. I'm okay with that. Steve, I've got an electrical question coming right up. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Ben says foil or epee. Yes. C8 Mustang, why would right turn light work but won't work when headlights are on? Okay. So Steve is asking, why would the right turn light work but won't work when the headlights are on? I hate electrical questions. I hate electrical, just to let you know. So if anybody has some good input on that for Steve, why would the right turn light work but won't work when headlights are on? So obviously there's some sort of demon in your car. Don Thompson, you told us to talk about ourselves, so I started no takers though. Okay. Wait a minute. What's wrong with my bell? Come on. There we go. Caden, I saw a video about a guy at a car show that walked by a car with his hood open and said, nice turbo, when he was talking about the alternator. They got mad when he was told he was wrong. Aaron, it's stock and it's still spinning in third gear. Yep. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not. You get people that get upset about it, but I'm not. Caden, afterwards, he threw a fit saying he put a fake turbo on it. Awesome. Let's see. Rick had Caden, no LS and a Prius. I have a friend that has 3 of them in his driveway, and he is a Chevy man. Okay. Check your grounds, Steve. Yes. Bad Harry, when you go to sell it, it is easier to sell a vehicle with the same make engine because there are a lot of people are brand loyal. That is true. That is true. Her Scrambler, Golden Hawk, yes. Although I've always said I like the 53 Commander, or that body style 53, and I've been reading up on it a little bit, and apparently the 53 had some issues. The body, the design was fantastic, but it had some sort of issues. I don't remember what they were saying was wrong, but they improved it in 54. Basically the same car. In fact, 55, basically the same car. But the nose is different on the 55. So I was thinking, oh, I'd like to have a 53 someday, but honestly, I think I'd rather have the 54 because of the fixes that they did in production. But yeah, Golden Hawk, sure. Silver Hawk, sure. Gran Turismo, sure. Like them all. So Ollie's saying usually ground, Steve. It is stealing ground from the headlight. So there you go. Rick, bad ground or short to ground in the turn light. There's another good response. Bad Harry, most of the time it is a bad ground. And Roger says, I'll echo Rick, check the grounds. I think we have a consensus, Steve. You have a ground issue. Clark, at footage, disconnect the headlight bulb and see if the signal works. Troubleshoot it. I like that. Bell made by router manufacturer. Yeah. Exactly. Art, footage factory, first thing I check is all the dual filament bulbs are installed correctly in the correct positions. That's another good thing. Check that as well. Gary, electrical problems, always check all the grounds first. Just my suggestion. Yes, good point. Again, check grounds, bad ground, and grounding through your stop filament. Why would there be a bad ground if the left light works when on? Well, it's not on the left side. It's got to be something on the right side if that's one that's giving you the problem. So that's why I really don't like electrical. I do like my little coffee warmer though. March Indy. Again, I have to give a shout out. This little thing he sent to me, that is a cat's meow. It's doing a good job. Rick, Power Probe 3 is an excellent tool to diagnose electrical problems. So there you go. Next, probably because you worked on it. Just kidding. Yeah, sometimes the gremlins don't show up until we do something. I've seen cars. One thing my dad used to say a lot, we'd have a car that was just covered in grease. The engine bay, the whole engine's covered in grease and oil and whatever. But it wasn't leaking anything at that point. It was just all caked. And I think I or somebody had said, well, I'm going to clean this up and make it look good. My dad said, don't do it. Don't do it because it's not leaking now. Whatever is caked all over that thing is keeping the oil inside the engine. So his answer was, don't do it. Leave it alone. If it's not leaking, don't mess with it. Sure enough, I know I've done it in the past where I had a grungy looking engine, cleaned it all up, starts leaking all over the place. Gary, I don't like sheet metal. Yeah, sheet metal is my favorite. Sheet metal is my favorite. Yep. Sheet metal, welding, all that stuff. Yep. All day. Nick, that's where my gremlins come from. Yeah. Shane is checking out. Glad you were here. Roger, Chaos got its name from electrical gremlins. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just not a fan of electrical stuff. The less that's why I like the Model A. There's like 4 wires in the Model A, I think. Maybe 4, maybe 5. I mean, literally, there's headlights, power to the coil, power to the starter, but there's a key switch, which is just a power switch. You can't start it with the key. You have to have the key on, and there's a pedal, which is a mechanical connection to the actual starter that's on the engine. And when you push that pedal down, you got to think about this the right way because Ford did it backwards. But it actually engages the solenoid. It creates the ground in effect, and it's a mechanical push on that thing that makes it work. So very few wiring issues on a Model A. Whoops. Steve, the gremlin has been there, Nick. I'm hunting it down, and it is confusing me. Yeah, electrical, I don't like electrical. I really don't. Gary, it's not a leak until it hits the ground. I like it. Clark, Footage Factory, it could be you have a single filament bulb and a double filament socket. That's okay. That's worth checking. They're hard to get in there though, because it's a single filament bulb, the posts are equal side to side. Whereas the double filament bulb, the one side is offset, the little nubs that lock them in. But it's possible somebody could wedge it in there. Paul, do you have heat in your booth? It's coming into winter here near New Zealand. It gets pretty cold in mine. Only use infrared heaters in mine. I have heat and AC in the main shop, and that's why I typically don't try to spray until spring, or I prefer spring or fall. Summer it gets it will get hot, but the AC does help. That's going to help cool it down. But in the winter, I would probably avoid any kind of really extensive type of spray. But I do have heat and AC out here in the shop. Well, and with that, it's going to pull air from the main shop into the paint booth. So hope that answers. Robert, just think if the Model A was a diesel. Yeah. Whoops. Dave, even no real spark plug wires on the A. That is true. That is very true. Good point. If you haven't seen it, the Model A doesn't have like your standard wire, like you'd have a thick cable-like wire, for your spark plugs. It has copper strips. I mean, literally flat pieces of copper that wedge, have like a tongue that slips over the spark plugs, the post. I mean, it's literally like that. And the other end, of course, is into your distributor. Very, very basic. Okay, so Steve's saying, thank you, Clark. He's going to check that bulb. Robert, yeah, my favorite phrase, Ford did it backwards. Yes. The whole positive ground thing was just didn't make any sense. Rick, does your Model A have the crank start on the front too? It does. It does. But I've never tried it. And I'll since you brought that up, I'm gonna make I'll do a junkyard story time. I've talked about it before, and I've mentioned my brother has passed a few weeks ago now, and I've talked about him before and stuff he's done and different things. But he used to have what was it, 49 Studebaker pickup truck that he had it mounted on a Ford frame. It was a real kind of mix of things, but it was a four-wheel drive. He made it a four-wheel drive Studebaker, and it was on a Ford frame, but it had a Studebaker drivetrain that had a Studebaker engine, transmission, and then he had it rigged to the Ford transfer case. It was, quite the mix. My brother was quite the beast. I mean, I looked at him as like he would be twice as thick as I am. And, if you ever took somebody like a crank start a Model A or something, okay, that's not that big of an engine. You can do that. My brother used to crank start his Studebaker. Yeah. He could put a crank, he had it rigged up onto the crankshaft, obviously. And I've watched him do it, and he would show other people. He would crank start his V8 Studebaker truck. I don't know many people that can do that with anything like that. But he would do it. And I talked about it before, how at one point he had he was trying to start a tractor. It was the middle of winter, and I was always intimidated by the cranks. I'm just not a fan of it. But he had, and I know I've talked about this, but he was trying to crank start an Alice Chalmers tractor, and he was trying to get me to do it and crank it over, and I was not real comfortable with that. Partly because I was in A&P school at the time, and they told us to don't get injured, because if you do, it's going to delay your graduation from school. And so I cranked it over once or twice, and then I was like, why don't you do this? So, of course, he called me some names, and he went to do it, and he missed on the first shot. And on the second shot, the crank came off of the tractor, and that crank whipped around and cracked him right here in the head and split him wide open. That led to a hospital visit, stitches. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let me get back to the comments. But yeah, I've never seen anybody crank start. I've never seen anybody even try to crank start a V8 engine of any kind, much less a Studebaker. Robert, you are low on blinker fluid, hence the turn signal problems. There you go. Check the blinker fluid. Wait a minute. Bulb fixed it. You get a woohoo for that. Awesome. See, sometimes it's something simple. Sometimes. So I'm glad it was something simple. Nick, ultrasonic cleaners are where it's at. The Berryman's isn't as strong as it used to be. Awesome, Steve. Wait a minute. You don't like the Berryman's? Everybody likes Berryman's. Sorry, I have to use that all the time. I think that's just too much fun. Clark, Steve, I hope you have your own bell. There you go. Paul, if it fails, read instructions. Yep. Nick, yep. And Arthur Woodward, hey guys, sorry I'm late. I'm glad you're here. Nick says that Berryman's is too strong. Well, they say you only put it in there for like 30 minutes max. So, Steve, I'm glad it was something simple. Otherwise, I would have ripped out the entire taillights looking for the gremlin. And usually, well, I say usually, but typically we overthink things. A lot of times we overthink the problem, and many times it is something pretty simple. But I've had electrical issues with brand new parts, and that's why I get frustrated with electrical. I can understand routing wiring and connecting things. That's fine. But when something fails, that's when I get really frustrated. I've had, I think I've mentioned it before, I put a battery cutout system in a Corvette for a friend of mine. And it was a magnet operated solenoid. It was a magnetic switch. And basically you had on your keychain, you'd have a little piece, a magnet, and you could wave it over you could put the piece, the receiving magnet, let's say, underneath your carpet. And when you get in your car, you touch that spot or that area, and the solenoid would activate and turn on the power to the car. Pretty cool idea. So I bought the thing, or he had bought it and sent it to me, a brand new system. I put it all in, kind of worked, and then it didn't work. And I was like, what's going on? And so I took the whole thing apart. I was troubleshooting it. I'm seeing it's showing me on Wi-Fi again. This thing is. So I was troubleshooting it, and I kept getting frustrated. As it turns out, it was it wasn't. Let me see if I'm right here. Okay, it says I'm connected. I hope I'm connected. Okay. As it turns out, the solenoid was bad from the factory, and so I had to send it. I sent the solenoid back to the manufacturer guy, whoever sold the kit, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. This is bad." That's why I hate electrical. It could be something you're not even shouldn't out of the box. It should work. You shouldn't have these problems. Fast and Furious must say Jade is looking sweet. Good. Yes, I agree, and I'm pretty excited about it. Arthur, I shook mine for days. Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't cause any problems. Shortstop. Yeah, that was the Indiana Jones little guy. Yep. Nick. No. The one with your face on it, man. I think I could drink the other. It's become pretty weak compared to its former self. Okay, so you're saying this one is good stuff? I'm guessing. I don't know why I get a kick out of that. Arthur. Yeah, like the fan of my wife 69. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Robert says still good. Good. Dave, tell me again about the Corvette battery interrupt. Was there a brand name? I don't remember much about it. You probably have to just Google it. I know it was a magnetic system. It had a forged solenoid that you mounted to the firewall or mounted inside the car somewhere. So you had power running from the battery to that solenoid and then out of the solenoid to the car. And then you had the cutout switch. And that cutout switch, again, a magnetic type of thing, is what activated it. Now, what I ended up doing, if I remember correctly, I think I bypassed that magnetic system. And I used a temporary switch. Basically, I think it was a temporary switch to where I mounted it somewhere and you could reach your hand up and just and hit a momentary on switch and it would energize to the solenoid and activate the car and create power. So instead of the magnet, I used a momentary on switch. And then you can turn it off the same way, that momentary switch. I believe that's how I did it. It's been so long ago. Arthur, hey, I found a flow chart for the Y69 and it's cold. Okay, good. Gary, I used a shorted out cigarette lighter to ground a Cessna 150's battery solenoid to disconnect the battery. Pull out the lighter, no power, push it in, power. Oh, that's a good idea. Interesting. I used a shorted out cigarette lighter to ground a Cessna 150's battery solenoid. Huh. That's interesting. Dave, it's the Berry Man Chem Dip. Yeah. Footage, Steve, I do have a problem chasing gremlins into a, I guess, black hole versus calming down and troubleshooting from the start. Yeah. That is kind of hard. You always want to overthink it. Yeah, man, I want a t-shirt with that on it. You need to find someone to change the Berry to Berry. Rick, I've got to head out. We'll talk soon about your Comcast problems. Okay, Rick. See if we can't figure it out. Dave, interesting. Thanks for the info. Yep. Nope. Can't take that call. $70 at a U-port for all the AC from a 2000 Ford Ranger. Made up my own lines and used orifice tube. Okay, cool. Roger, Gary, is there an STC for that? Where'd he go? Where did Gary go? I missed Gary's comment. Or I'm not sure what we're referring to. What are we talking about? Oh. Are we talking about the Cessna thing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Dave says he likes that idea. Yeah. Robert, you could use a magnetic reed switch instead of a regular relay to be latching. Not that hard to do and cheap. Might need to make a video on it. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, Gary says, nope, just put it in. Supplemental type certificate for the lighter trick. There you go. See, you got to use the right terms. Ish, instead of cutoff switch, I once installed a push button start in the console glove box of a Firebird. That could work too. I have an isolation switch in the Model A. I don't want it to just spontaneously combust, even though it has very limited wiring in it. I isolate the battery every time I get in or get out of the car. Just don't take a chance. Kill it. Okay. Well, it's been pretty good. I had issues with the live stream, and I apologize for that. But I'm probably going to call it a night and contact Comcast again. Yeah, now it's messing up. Just to say that it's messing up. So okay. Is it back? Huh. Hold on. Okay. I'm just going to call it a night. Now that it's screwing up on me again, I'm going to call it a night. So anyway, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I don't know what's going on. But thank y'all for being here. Next video I'm working on is I'll probably do something on painting the underside of the deck lid and the hood and these other panels for Jade. And we'll see how that goes. And that'll probably be it. So sorry for all the problems. I'm going to try to get with Comcast and get another something to fix this because this just isn't working. But again, thanks for being here. And until Thursday, hopefully, if everything's working right, we'll do this again. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.